If you don't have sex before marriage, will anything happen to you? If you're saving yourself from marriage, maybe you're a man or a young woman, if you are not sexually active, are you running any health risk? Will anything happen to you as a consequence of not having sex? So many young people are pressured and they are fed this lie that if they are not sexually active, something wrong will happen to them mentally, physically, or in their reproductive health. And that's not true. We're going to dive into this and find out what's science and what is just a story. The first thing we want to say is there is no credible science. There's no scientific evidence. There's no research. There's no survey that is scientific that even suggests remotely that not being sexually active can harm your body, can harm your health, your mental health, your physical health, your reproductive health. We have looked everywhere. There is no scientific evidence. There's no credible evidence from any university, from any research center, from anywhere in the world. And I want you to disagree with me on the comment section if you have contrary opinion, if you have evidence contrary to what I'm saying. There's no contrary evidence. There's no credible scientific evidence to show that if you are not sexually active as a young man, that you are going to be harmed. There's no toxin that accumulates in your body. There's nothing that breaks down. There's nothing that goes wrong. Nothing goes out of alignment. There's nothing that's going to atrophy. Some people say if you're a woman and you're not having sex, it's going to be atrophy here or atrophy there. There's no such thing. Like I said, if you have any contrary research, I want you to disagree. Let me see it in the comment. There is no credible science, and I'm saying it repeatedly, that suggests, even remotely, that not being sexually active will harm the life of a young man or a young woman. In fact, the correlation is opposite. What do I mean by correlation is opposite? The correlation is reversed in the sense that a young man or young woman is actually exposing themselves to harm by being sexually active, at least in two ways. There's a risk of sexually transmitted diseases, and there's also a risk of unplanned pregnancy, which could complicate your life and make things more difficult. So even though people hear this everywhere, they go on the street, in locker rooms, in classrooms, in different places, even in church, some people say that if you're not sexually active, if you're saving yourself for marriage, if you're not doing this, if you're not doing that, that this could happen to you, this could happen to you, that could happen to you. All what that does is pressurize young people, put them under pressure, immense, overwhelming pressure sometimes, and they start to experiment with sex and get themselves messed up. The second reason why this pressure is growing is that sexually active young people don't like to be sexually active alone. And I'm going to say that again. Sexually active young people, whether they're young men or young women, they actually hate to hear that you're not sexually active, that you are keeping yourself. They don't like to be sexually active alone. Sometimes they feel like they have lost. Is it only me that will lose? Let all of us lose. Let all of us be sexually active. Because they think sometimes that if you have not had sex, maybe in some way you are better than them, or maybe you are something they are not, or you have something they don't have. They feel more comfortable that all of you are the same, that all of you are sexually active, all of you are taking the same risk, all of you are at the same level, if I should use that word. So you see a lot of people, it's difficult, it's rare to see people who are sexually inactive selling this story of if you're not sexually active, something will happen to you. Most times the story is sold, the story is cooked by people who are already sexually active, and some of them secretly regret the fact that they're sexually active. And so they are not very comfortable when they hear that you are sexually not active, that you are keeping yourself for marriage, that you are something they feel they have lost, but you still have it. And so they're going to do everything. Sometimes even they have to pressurize you, lie to you, whatever they have to do to make sure that you are also sexually active, that you also do what they're doing. It gives them some kind of comfort. It gives them some kind of assurance. This one is not better than me. We are all the same. After all, what I'm doing, you are doing. The third reason is that sex is positioned as a rite of passage, a maturity marker. Something shows that you have grown up, a coming of age kind of thing in a lot of places. So people who are like 16, it used to be 18, maybe now 16, in some places 14. In fact, today you see people who are even 12 years talking about who they are dating, who they are seeing and all that. So people position sex as a rite of passage, like getting a driver's license or graduating from high school or graduating from college. Something that shows that you have come of age, something as a maturity marker, something that shows that you know what you are doing, you have grown up. Unfortunately, that's actually a rebellion against parental authority, against church authority. It shows that, okay, I'm not an individual, I'm not doing what my mother said, I've rejected what they're saying, I'm now my own person, I'm doing my own thing. So when they see people who are not having sex, it's like you have not come of age. It's like you don't have a driver's license at 18 or 21, you are not driving. It's like you don't have a diploma at 21, you are not even gone to college or high school. So people are pressured because sex is positioned as a rite of passage, something you do immediately you grow up, as a maturity marker, as a coming of age, something that marks the fact that yes, finally I've come of age. But I want to say something. Sex is not a rite of passage. Sex is not a maturity marker. Sex is not something that shows you have come of age. There are so many other ways of being responsible to show that you have come of age. Graduate high school, you could do a postgraduate, you could get a job, you could do something for the community, you could help your parents. There are so many other things that you could do in church, in the community, at home, or at work to show that you have come of age, apart from sleeping around apart from having premarital sex. Premarital sex is not a marker of maturity. Premarital sex is not a sign that you have come of age, that you have grown up. It's actually a sign that you are lost to your path. The fourth reason why this pressure is growing, because people attain puberty very early today. And that's one point. So people attain puberty, early puberty, and then delayed marriage. Puberty comes earlier than it used to come. And then marriage comes later than it used to come. So the window of people being sexually active before marriage has widened, has expanded. There's an expanded window between puberty, adolescence, and then getting married. People used to get married on the average between 21, 22 for women, between 24, 25 for men. That has changed. Today you are seeing many women are getting married between 26 and 28 for women, and between 32, 33 for men. So there's an expanded window for somebody who does not want to be sexually active, to be pressured into being sexually active, because you probably see early puberty at about 11 or 9 or 10 instead of 12, 13 as previously used to be. And then marriage is delayed for a woman. Instead of getting married at about 21, 22, 23, she's probably going to get married at about 27 or 28. And then the man also get married at about 30 or 32, 31. So this expanded window means the temptation is bigger. The pressure is going to be stronger. So, but that doesn't mean that the early puberty, early onset of puberty and the delayed marriage, it doesn't mean that this expanded window can cause harm. We need to be very clear on that. That the window is expanded, it doesn't mean that there's an expanded opportunity for harm or for any health risk. No, it just means that as their hormones are growing and moving around, of course you are a human being, we are human beings, we are sexual beings, we have sexual hormones, we have hormones that move in our body, we get erection even when we don't want. So this is going to make you feel like something is wrong with you. Why am I getting all this erection? Why am I getting all these emotions? Why am I getting all this sexual energy and I'm not releasing it? It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean anything is about to be wrong with you. It doesn't mean anything is going to go wrong. It just means we need more self-control. There's a fifth reason, which I call the dopamine deception. What do I mean by dopamine deception? During sex, the body releases hormones and neurotransmitters that makes you feel good, feel pleasure, call them feel-good hormones, especially dopamine. These hormones are released by the body when you have sex, and it brings a feeling of well-being, a feeling of wellness, a feeling of euphoria. Incidentally, most people don't tell you that in doing intensive exercise, you get the same feeling. When you accomplish a high goal, you get the same feeling. When you have victory, when you achieve something very important, you get the same feeling. It's not only from having sex that you can have this feeling of well-being or pleasure or euphoria or wellness. You can get it from a lot of other things, even singing or being joyful. Incidentally, the only one that the world talks about is the dopamine that comes from sex, especially premarital sex, from drugs, especially drugs that we're not supposed to use. So a lot of people get hooked on sex because of the well-being, the feel-good, the pleasure. Of course, there's pleasure that comes from sex. Even the Bible talks about enjoying the pleasure of sin. So there's pleasure that comes from it, but this pleasure for people who are not married can be accomplished from doing intense physical exercise, from accomplishing goals, from being victorious in different areas, from even doing other things like laughing, being joyful, playing music. So yes, this premarital sex that used to be a taboo has gone from being a taboo to being a rite of passage, like I said earlier. But we have to be careful how we navigate this passage, because a lot of people who have tried to navigate this passage have not done well because of premarital sex, because of sexually transmitted diseases, because of even HIV and other things, other complications that can come, forced marriages and other things that can come from premarital sex. So we want people to understand that yes, all these stories, all this pressure of glamorizing sex is glamorized, popularizing sex, normalizing premarital sex. Every girl wants to be glamorous, every girl wants to be popular. In the process of belonging to the people that are popular, to the people that are glamorous, a lot of people are pushed into sex. And when they're pushed into sex, they want to push other people. Like I say, people who are sexually active don't want to be sexually active alone. They want everybody to join. If this message has spoken to your heart or helped you in any way, I want you to share with other young people. Subscribe for more. And if you are new to this channel, my name is JP Forward. See you in the next one.